For this project, you're going to want to get Electrician's Conduit, metal galvanized, 1¼ inch by 10 foot. And then this you'll find in the gardening section of your local hardware store typically. Top rail for chain link fence. This one is 1¾ inch by I think it's like 10 inch, 10'6". But we're going to cut it down to size anyway. But the reason I chose these ones is they fit perfectly together. Optionally, if you want to make a thicker axle bar, you can get another piece of Electrician's Conduit, 1½ inch by 10 foot, and that'll fit on the outside of this. The other thing you'll want is some JB Weld, just some epoxy welding substance, unless you have a welder. Alright, tools for the project. You're going to need a hacksaw or upgraded metal cutoff tool, angle grinder with a metal blade, safety glasses, a tape measure, something to mark with as well, and something to mix the epoxy on. Alright, so I'm going to make this, I'm going to make it 86. That's 7'2", which is essentially a Olympic size bar. Slide them together just to make sure everything's good before I get the JB Weld out. Yep. Check the size on it. Good. You can see how well they fit together. Not a very big gap, which is good. Okay, so the next step is to do the JB Weld. You only have 6 minutes. This one sets in 6 minutes to get it all into place. So what I'm going to do, and it cures in 4 to 6 hours. So what I'm going to do is mix it together, and I'm going to mix enough so that I have a little bit for the inside, and then slide it in, and then I'm going to put some on the ends. Alright, I'm going to mix equal parts of the steel, part of it, and the hardener. Okay, timer's on, so got this slid out a little bit. Just gonna put some here, and then another little bit here. slide it in. It's going to make a little bit of a mess. I'm just going to kind of roll it so it stays in. Get it to the edge there, and I'm going to get all this stuff on the edge, seal it together.
It's okay if it's thick, you can always file it off too if you want. Try to get it in the groove in between the two pipes, especially.
Here's what the ends look like. So you see I've kind of layered that stuff in, trying to get in between the two pipes to weld them together. There you go. And these little extra pieces I'm just going to file off when it's set. Another thing I would do is give it like maybe a quarter turn so that the stuff that's inside can kind of settle. It can kind of go around it. Also, here are my weights that I'm making. They're drying. See my other video for those. So this is dry to the touch now, but it's still not hardened. I'm going to take a utility knife and just shave it off. So that's going to be easier than filing it later once it's hardened. Just shave that excess off. I'm not going to touch anything on the inside of it. So the reason I made this with, I'm not going any bigger with the other pipe, is because of how I'm trying to do my setup. So I've got my weights inside those black ABS pipes, which I have one here. That's going to slide on perfectly to my very little, just enough wiggle room when I put those plates on. So that's why I'm doing it with those. The bigger one, there obviously is bigger ABS that you could put over that. It just doesn't fit quite as well, so this is the setup that I'm going with. But if you wanted to do something with Olympic plates, then something like this on top of this, doing the exact same thing that we just did, where you put the JB Weld on the inside and then JB Weld on the outside, would work. Because that size of that pipe is 1 3/4 on the outside of it. It's a 1.5 inch pipe, but 1 3/4 on the outside. And most, that'll fit your Olympic plates. It'll have, 1/4 inch and 1/8 of an inch on each side wiggle room, but it'll work. So this is what it would look like if you were to put that 1.5 inch conduit over the top of it. So you'd have a little bit of a gap there, as you can see. But if you did a bigger pipe on the outside, one, it'd be more reinforced, and two, you could fit, like I said, your Olympic plates. Final step is to measure the midpoint. So 86 divided by 2, 43. Mark that. And from the center point, I'm going to do 2 feet on each side. So an Olympic bar, which this is not, but Olympic bar is about 4.3 or 4'3" and 5/8 inches. We're just going to do 4 feet, so 2 feet on each side. Okay, once you've made your marks, 2 feet from the center point, then you can either slide on some clamps, clips, or just use some duct tape. I'm going to use duct tape since I don't have any clamps right now. Okay, here we go. Weights on.